accustomed to a lot of change when he came to church. He liked things to stay the way they were. And I remember after we had the vote, he spoke against changing from Magnolia Avenue Baptist Church to Magnolia Church. And after we voted to do so, he came up and he said, "Preacher," that's usually what he referred me to as preacher. He said, "Preacher, I don't like that change. And if it's all right with you, I'm just going to call it Magnolia Avenue Baptist Church." But he said, "The people that voted, that's the last you'll hear of it from me." Charlie was that kind of matter-of-fact kind of guy. Here's one thing you need to know about Charlie Pennington if you're just here because you're with one of these family friends and you didn't know Charlie very well. You never had to wonder what Charlie was thinking. You never did. A lot of times people are like chihuahuas who will sneak up from behind you and bite you before you know it. Charlie was not a chihuahua. He might bite you from the front, but you knew it was coming. He was a man of faith. He loved his church. He loved the Lord. When we talk about a legacy, one of the greatest legacies that I think any parent, grandparent, foster parent, one of the greatest legacies that can be left to their children and to their heirs is a vibrant faith. This family got to see that faith. You got to see it in action. You got to see how it plays out and how it lives. And as a result, we can come today with a message of hope. There is grief. There is a reality of death. And death has reminded all of us of our own mortality. Every time we gather around a casket like we're here today doing, we're mindful of the reality that one day a group of people will gather around ours. It's not a casket, it might be an urn, but at some point people are going to gather around and try to make sense of the life that we've lived. The legacy of hope says that what we're really saying today is not goodbye. What we're really saying today is so long until we meet again. And there's a difference. In Galatians chapter 5, Paul says, "Christ has liberated us to be free. Stand firm then, and don't submit again to a yoke of slavery." And take note. I, Paul, tell you that if you get yourselves circumcised, Christ will not benefit you at all. Again, I testify to every man who gets himself circumcised that he too is obligated to keep the entire law. You who are trying to be justified by the law are alienated from Christ. You've fallen from grace. For through the Spirit, by faith, we eagerly wait for the hope of righteousness. For in Christ Jesus, neither circumcision or uncircumcision accomplishes anything. What matters is faith working through love. I want to talk for a few moments about the hope of righteousness that we have. And the first thing Paul mentions is, if Christ has set us free, we are free indeed.